Lucinda Panties of Lady Velvet Cabaret, and today I'm going to be telling you about some of my favourite worst moments. So the disasters that happen when I'm on stage and how I have managed to avoid them or simply embrace them, as the case may be. So for instance, let me think. I can remember a time, perhaps in 2015, perhaps at the Perth Fringe World Festival, where I actually felt like I was dying. So sometimes you are sick. It's unavoidable. A lot of the time I'll be, maybe a little bit runny, maybe a little bit sniffy, maybe a little bit gross, but I will have 37 shows in a row. So you kind of have to live with it. One way that I have managed to avoid big problems is simply by absolutely memorising every single thing I have to say. I was quite sick for Deep Sea Divas at the Fringe Festival in 2015, and I memorised everything. I held the microphone very close to my mouth so that my voice, which I was slowly losing, could be heard, and I didn't improvise at all because I wouldn't have been on point. So the audience would have known. I do fondly remember running off stage, and I didn't stop. I just kept running because I needed to go and puke out the back. Showbiz. Perhaps if I'm just a little bit sick, I might make a bit of a joke out of it. I might bring the audience in if it's not going to affect my performance. We do play a lot of games at Lady Velvet Cabaret shows. I could change one of the shows to be, a sort of Russian roulette type game where, I lick or sneeze or otherwise infect an audience member, and then if they don't get sick, then they win, So sometimes you can work with it, but if it's really bad, you should probably just memorise everything you're going to do so you don't screw it up. What else has happened to me on stage? One of my first ever Lady Velvet Cabaret gigs. Like I said before, we play a lot of games, we get the audience up, they have a lot of fun. Sometimes they have too much fun. I don't want to be sexist or nothing, but sometimes the men have way too much fun, yeah? When it's the dance off, all you got to do is shimmy around and shake it and do what you got. You don't have to get it out, sir. So I feel like perhaps the most efficient way to all of you budding young cabaret MCs who are watching this, best way to get a drunk guy off the stage, small penis joke. He doesn't want to be up there anymore, if you see him start to zip his fly down in the middle of the game, perhaps make some sort of joke like, "Oh, sir, I wouldn't bother. I don't think anybody here has their opera glasses on them." Failing that, put your microphone to the side, grab him round the shoulder, pretend you're real good friends and tell him, "Mate, if you don't get the on stage, Final one that I wanted to chat about, a very fond memory, perhaps in 2012, 2013, Lady Velvet Cabaret was performing as part of the ICAC festival. It was something to do with sailing. I really have no idea, but I just did the show anyway. And there's nothing quite like that spine-tingling, chilling moment when you're on stage and the audience loves you, of course, and your stage kitten just pokes her head out the curtain and goes, "She's not ready yet." And you're like, for how long? What's wrong? Is she trying to get her shoe buckle on, or has she got diarrhea? How long are we talking? How much time do you need? Nothing quite like stalling when you're not sure how long you're supposed to be stalling for. Luckily, I was very prepared. Not luckily, I'm always very prepared. And I had prepared a joke earlier in the after. Luckily, I was very prepared, and I had prepared a joke, a themed joke. So because we were in some sort of sailing shenanigans festival, I went and I googled a joke about an octopus and a set of pajamas. And that joke went for about 3, 4, 45 minutes. And then I told the joke, I told the punchline, everybody laughed. And then I sort of wandered back to the curtain and stuck my head in. And it looked like that girl had been ready to go for the whole joke. I don't think she needed any time to stall at all. But you know what? I had that joke and the audience didn't even know that anything had happened. I hope. So those are just some of my favourite disasters that I've had on stage and how I've managed to wangle my way out of them. But you never know. The next disaster could be around the corner. Who knows, maybe next time you go to a Lady Velvet Cabaret show, you'll get to see my worst disaster yet!